Welcome back to Profiles in Caring, as our story today takes us half a world away. We've already told you the story of Boy, a native of Thailand who's helping orphans of the 2004 tsunami with home and life skills. Well, now we're going to introduce you to an American woman and her nonprofit group called YouthLINC, accepting the daunting task of helping several communities there get back on their feet. Here again from Thailand, Shauna Scott.
Boy established this home for survivors on the second anniversary of the tsunami. He has incurred considerable debt in order to build on this rented plot of land. With the help of international groups, including the American group YouthLINC, Boy hopes to expand this home and life.
YouthLINC is a youth service program dedicated to creating humanitarians for life. We do that through a strategy of both local and international service.
When I was in 10th grade, Judy Zone, the director of YouthLINC, came to my Honors Humanities class and just gave a short presentation about the trip they would be taking to Mexico, and I decided it sounded like a really great opportunity, so I signed up.
Students have to perform up to 100 hours of service in their own community, become relied upon volunteers, and for that commitment they receive a sponsorship that pays approximately half the cost of an international service experience.
My volunteer hours my first year, part of it I tutored at an elementary school, and the other part of it I coached a basketball team for kids with disabilities, and that was a lot of fun.
I worked at a deaf school with their after-school activities.
Most of it went with the blind, Utah Federation of the Blind. Just helped the kids learn how to get around the community using a cane by themselves.
Two main places I went to was the Beehive Homes, just senior citizen center. Just hung out with them, played piano for them.
YouthLINC partners with organizations. There has to be a couple of conditions that exist. Okay, one is that we can work in a small community where we can form a partnership and where our students can form an emotional relationship. The students who participate in our program, they've been preparing for the experience for a year to come, and so they have many professionals who work with them to prepare whatever is needed for the international site. YouthLINC does an amazing job with vocational training. We can access professionals who want to come to Thailand and work with kids to teach them the kinds of skills, and run a little coffee shop, teach them some business skills, run a little garden, teach them some English so they can get a job at a tourist resort. Those are the kinds of things we've done already, so there are kinds of things we can do again.
We partner with organizations and with communities for maybe 3-4 years to reach goals that we've laid out prior to our partnership.
So Judy says she wants to create humanitarians for life. Is it working?
I really think that it is, because they will become so passionate about it, because they realize that not only does there need to be work done, but it's fun, you meet people, and really it's all about sharing those experiences. And so, volunteering and humanitarian work, it's a lot about the people you meet and the connections that you make, and a lot of people, I think, key into that with YouthLINC.
I went to an elementary school every other day for school for an hour and a half, usually more than that, and I would help out a 5th grade teacher with her kids and play PE games with them and tutor them and just help them out.
I mostly volunteered in elementary schools for my service hours, and I got involved with that because my sister's just starting out her teaching, so I kind of worked with her, working with little kids. But I just love working with the little kids. One thing that's hard is that when they have a volunteer coming into the school, they always have you work with the students who are struggling and who need extra help with something because they have you there. And so you always get put with the kids that already it's hard for them to read, it's hard for them to write. And so for me, it was quite a struggle for me to actually work with the little kids sometimes and try and get through to them whichever way they're trying to learn. And it's your job as the volunteer to figure out how they learned, because they're too young to know how they learn. But it's also so rewarding, because if you are in the same place for long enough, which I was able to do, then you start to connect with the kids and you start to realize how they learn. And so that was really rewarding for me, to really get in tight with some kids and, you know, feel like I was able to kind of figure out how they learn and read with them and see improvement.
Well, after being an alum of the program, I saw, you know, how this organization empowers young people. My major in my formal education was I had an emphasis in international development. So I wanted to go into this field, and after having such a marvelous experience with YouthLINC, I just wanted to stay as close to the organization as possible.
We collected shoes, and I never imagined how excited they would be. And they had these little dirty feet, and I took wet wipes and cleaned off this little girl's feet and put these clean white socks on. And it was either her teacher or her mom that was standing behind her. And once we got a pair to fit, I mean, we were down to probably about 3 pairs of shoes that would actually fit this little girl. And we finally got one that fit perfect. And, you know, she had stared down at her feet for probably 5 minutes while we were looking for shoes. And she looked up at me with the biggest smile on her face. And that is just a moment I will never forget. I can close my eyes and see the smile on her face. It was just so touching. I would definitely think the exotic atmosphere definitely is intriguing automatically, and so that just turns them on to the service part of it. You know, it's kind of like, ooh, we're gonna go to Peru, but then when they really start doing the service, that's where the focus is. That's what's neat to see, is probably from the first meeting, you know, it's like, oh, I'm going to Peru, you know, and that's the focus in their minds. But then as they, you know, start doing the service, they start coming to the meetings and telling about their experiences. And so the reason I think they're doing it is definitely the service. There's something, the good feeling you get in your heart from doing service is it's addicting. Service is addicting.
More with Home and Life and YouthLINC after these messages.